Hi, Hester here, and in this video I want to touch on some of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to homeschooling. I talk to a lot of parents and families, and when I mention to them that I am homeschooling, I get a lot of support, but I also get a lot of questions and concerns that they mention to me, or they ask me, stating why they couldn't homeschool, or why they wouldn't do it, or why they're apprehensive about it. So in this video, I'm going to touch on the five biggest misconceptions about homeschooling. The first one is, am I qualified enough to teach my own child? And I can honestly say I felt that I've struggled with that question a lot early on. I'm just really getting in the ropes of homeschooling, so we're just turned 5, but I've struggled with that question because you ask, like, am I going to make a mistake? Is Saora going to suffer later on in life, and so on and so forth? You start asking yourself a lot of those questions. But one of my mentors that said a great statement, and he said, you are the guide on the side, not the sage on the stage, and that's how you should run your homeschool. So if you are strong in the subject math, reading, writing, science, then of course you teach your child. But if you struggle in certain subjects, then what do? You get help. You get tutors, college students, graduate students. You join a homeschool co-op where that subject is taught. There's so many ways for you to navigate through these things, but you don't have to know everything. And to me, that was like the greatest and biggest weight off of my shoulders. It's like you are the facilitator. You don't have to know everything, and if you don't know it, you go learn it, or you find someone that knows it, okay? So that's misconception number 1. Misconception number 2 is that you must run your homeschool like the schedule of a traditional school. And that, to me, I'm still working that out of my head because I am a product of public school. And for the record, I just want to say it that I don't dislike traditional schooling. I don't dislike teachers. I think teaching is one of the greatest lessons or professions that are out there that is the most underpaid. So I just wanted to put that out there. But you don't have to run your school like a traditional school. If your child learns better in the afternoon, maybe they have so much energy during the day, you have to let them run it off, and then you do school in the afternoon. There's some people that do schooling at night, depending on the age of their child. You have the flexibility to run your school like you want. And also, when you homeschool, you don't have to factor in the commute time, the time to move throughout classes throughout the day. So generally, especially for older children, you can have your schooling done in between 1 to 3 hours and have the rest of the day for your child to explore, learn who they are, follow their passions. But the flexibility is one of the benefits of homeschooling, just one of the many benefits. Misconception number 3 is that you have to be a stay-at-home mom. Sorry, I have to adjust my camera. You have to be a stay-at-home mom or dad to homeschool, and that can be furthest from the truth, because just as I mentioned in the previous misconception, it's about flexibility. Now, if you do stay at home, of course it would be better, or easier I should say, to homeschool your child when you stay at home, because you don't have to factor in your other part of your life, the scheduling, if you work somewhere else, so on and so forth. But I know many cases, many stories, many parents. I know a woman who works at night, comes home, does homeschooling for her daughter, then goes to sleep, because it's really about what you want. You homeschool not just to say, oh, I think I'm gonna try this. You do it because the reason is there for you to homeschool your child, so you do whatever it takes to make it work. But the flexibility is the key. You don't have to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm not a stay-at-home mom, but I am self-employed, so I do control my schedule, which is a major benefit to be self-employed. But there are people that are employees and work traditional, like 9 to 5 hours, and you make homeschool work for you and your family. Okay? Misconception number, I have to look at my list, number 4 is socialization. This one is one of the major ones, because unfortunately there are, you see one homeschool child and they just seem introverted, but guess what? There are introverted children that are in the public school system. I think people think socialization is because your child is not around their age group for hours upon a day that they don't get socialized. And there's major benefits from kids playing with kids. I think that is so important. You just have to make time for that. You do co-op, you do play dates, you do activities where there's other children. You go to the playground, you play with your family members. But socialization isn't just confined to other children. Like Soora goes with me everywhere. She talks to the grocery store clerk. She talks to my clients at the center. She talks to any person, any age, and can hold a conversation with any person. Socialization is that, not just being around a child of the same age for 5 hours or whatever per day. Socialization is having social skills, getting out, meeting people. That's what socialization is all about. And Soora is a very extroverted child, so it's important for me to nurture that in her. But socialization is not a problem with homeschooling. And the fifth major misconception is that you have to have a lot of money to homeschool. And I will say this, I don't care what profession, what topic you're talking about, having more money makes it more easier than having less. So I will say that. But in the area of homeschooling, every industry or everything has an industry, everything is commerce. So there are expensive curriculums that are $500 and up for you to educate your child. But believe me, with the internet and exposure, there is so much free information out there, so much free things that you can print online, so many things that you can do online now. And also, if you connect with the local community and other homeschooling parents, there are tons of free information that they want to give away that their children are no longer using, whether it's books, equipment, so on and so forth. There's so many ways for you to educate your child without having to pay so much money as in traditional schools. You just have to be creative. You have to really know what you want your child to learn, and then you get the resources in order to do that. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on those 5 major misconceptions. If you want to homeschool your child, really look into and do your research on it, and most importantly, connect with families that are homeschooling it, because sometimes reading stuff in a book is not enough. Really connect with someone who's in the trenches and pick their brain. Really see what's going on, what they like, what they dislike, because homeschooling isn't easy, but I wouldn't trade it for any other way. Okay, so I just wanted to leave you with that. For other videos and blog posts on conscious living, whether it's homeschooling, business, marketing, health, just click the link below and join our email list, and you'll be notified when we release this information. Okay, so stay tuned for the next video.